Hello everyone and welcome to the start of the 2026 season. Last time out we had preseason testing here at the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, Australia, and today we're going to jump straight into qualifying. Got a little bit more acclimated with the track and on the medium and soft compound tires in practice 2 and 3, so we should be good to go heading into qualifying. Looks like we are about the 8th quickest car, so I think our goal should be to out-qualify maybe one of the Haas cars and one of the Racing Bull cars. We'll set that goal for ourselves, and we'll set another personal goal of getting into Q2, so let's jump straight into qualifying.
Hello everyone, it is time for qualifying at one of our very favourite stops on the calendar. It's Albert Park and we're about to take the cars right up to the edge.
Well, as we prepare to start our first lap of the 2026 season, we are going to head down into turn 1 at a speed that is way higher than I'm used to. Putting the car in hat lap mode. Honestly, in Q2, I only did one qualifying run, so it's a bit of an unknown for me coming into this and stuff like that, but I need to learn to adapt very quickly. And not expecting pace to be too crazy fast here. As you know, I'm not the fastest around street circuits. I'm more quick on the purpose-built circuits. But these tracks, you know, it's just kind of difficult for me to find the balance. Tracks like Baku, and the only one I seem to be truly on point with is Singapore. All the other street tracks I do need some work on, as now we head down into the quick left-right of 9 and 10. Open the wings up again, and we are just about out of battery, so as counterintuitive as it sounds, we're going to have to lift and coast into some of these heavy braking zones to go quicker overall in the lap, recharging the battery and things like that. As now we head down into the penultimate corner. Oh, almost run into the grass there as we get a kick of understeer, and that's going to kind of ruin our lap, but we're going to head up towards the line, dump the battery. That seemed to be a pretty good balance.
P22.
As at the moment we are P5, just gotta wait for everybody else to finish their first runs. Well, at the moment we find ourselves P21, only quicker than our teammate Nico Hulkenberg. Was not expecting us to be the 2 slowest lap times this session, but we're gonna try something different with the battery this lap and see if we can pick up a couple extra tenths. Q2 does seem pretty unrealistic at the moment, as this car is just lacking general speed, downforce, and engine power. As now you're going to see the super clipping start as we go into 8th gear, and not as bad as it was in real life, but you can still see not gaining any speed, even dropping a couple miles an hour there. So that is honestly painful to experience when you're driving the car. Not going to use any battery through here. We're currently 6 tenths up nearly. As we're gonna try not to, I was gonna say we try to avoid the curb like we did last lap, but we did the same exact thing. As now we're gonna round around to the final 2 turns. We get through that one nice and tidy, and now that should pick us up quite a bit of time. Yep, there we go. 1.2. Can we get up to 1.3 as we cross the line? Nah, just about, but that's P14. Are we going to be able to make it through into the next part of qualifying? Will anybody else improve? Well, here we go then. Q1, topping timing sheets, Charles Leclerc with Ferrari. Alex Albon up in P3. Between them is Lando Norris in 2nd. So what a lap from Alex Albon in the Williams car. Out in Q1 we have Nico Hulkenberg, our teammate, just struggling all weekend. Not had the quickest of times in practice either, so both Cadillacs are out. We have the Haas of Ollie Behrman. Liam Lawson out, Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. Remarkable that Fernando Alonso was able to put that boat of an Aston Martin just a second off of Leclerc's time here in Q1. But the track will start to improve, and so will the lap time, so we got to keep up with that. Q2, I didn't think was possible, but apparently it is. Q3 will be a very, very big ask. Alright, I've opted, well, I had one new set of soft tires left, so I've opted to go for just one run here in Q2. And we've got a Mercedes behind us, so we need to pick up the pace here. And try not to impede him, but if we do, oh well. You know, I have a right to my lap as much as he does to his. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, as now we head down to third gear around this section here, past the parking lot runoff. And then, of course, flat through here. Soft tires just feel so good. Nothing better than coming out on a fresh set of soft compound tires. As now I expect we will be overtaken. This was kind of I couldn't really pull away on my outlap from the AI, so we're kind of leading this train here, but we're going to kind of open up the inside, let him through. I guess he has no interest in going past me. Didn't brake later than me at all. So I guess we kind of held him up, but that's his own doing for starting his lap as close as he did to me. And now there we go. We're going to avoid the curb, but we're going to slide, and yep, there we go. Oh, man. That is unfortunate. So now we got to wait for everybody else to go by before we can flick the car around. It's going to be P16 on the grid for the Australian Grand Prix. Well, once again, at the end of Q2, Charles Leclerc showing he has pace. Same with Alex Albon, still right up there. So P3 in Q1 and P4 in Q2. So great pace from him. Franco Colapinto making it through in his Alpine. And Esteban Ocon making it through in the Haas car. So that won't be good for the constructors fight on our side. The reason they were able to go through is because we have a big name out in Q2, and that is Lewis Hamilton. 7/10 off his teammate. Clearly, Lewis not having as well of a time in the car in the game as he does in real life. I'm confident we could have been up here in the mix, 13th, 14th, somewhere around there, if we had completed our lap. But yeah, good, decent starting position for our first ever qualifying in these cars. So let's jump straight into the Australian Grand Prix, see if we can pick up a point or two. Not necessarily saying it's a possibility, but, you know, anything can happen, especially around Albert Park. So yeah, let's jump straight into this.
The wait is over. Hello everyone and welcome to the 2026 Formula One season. We have new teams, new drivers and a sea change in the regulations. The biggest that Formula One has ever seen. It's unpredictable and it starts right now. We first raced here in Albert Park back in 1996. It's 3.2 miles, 14 turns now instead of the original 16, part of a larger redevelopment to encourage overtaking. The drivers enjoyed it in 2022. It retains the landmarks, the bumps, the challenge, but there's more opportunity to attack with those 5 corners to the left and the 9 to the right. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Verstappen, George Russell, and Hadjar, Albon, Antonelli, Ocon, and Franco Colapinto, Gasly, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, and Lindblad, Alonso, Mr. Monaco, Ollie Behrman, and Valtteri Bottas, Lawson, Stroll, Perez, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box overlooking the circuit. I'm Alex Jakes, and joining us for the race today is Naomi Schiff. Well, welcome back. After all the testing, the build-up, it all now comes down to this.
This is always such an exciting time in the season. First of all, it's the first time they'll be racing their new cars. So that's always an exciting thing for drivers to look forward to. But also, they've had a long time off during the winter break. So it's about dusting the cobwebs off, getting the rust off of their bones, and really getting their elbows out there and having some fun.
Well, here we are then down on the grid, ready for the start of the Australian Grand Prix. Quite a shocker there from McLaren to take pole position with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri not far behind in third. So it looks like Ferrari will have some work to do, as will Mercedes, certainly, because they are way down the order in 6th and 8th, I believe. So just unbelievable, but I'm sure their race pace is going to be a lot stronger than their quali pace in Q3. So yeah, let's jump straight into this for the first Grand Prix of the 2026 season. Interesting to see how this will go.
So as the formation lap gets underway here, for the first time this season, each driver will be wanting to make an impactful start to their season by earning those crucial points and getting a confidence booster right from the off.
Well, as you can see, they're a pretty even split on strategy. A lot of the front runners opting for the medium tire, and everybody in front of us on the medium tire as well in Alonso, Lindblad, and Sainz.
As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one. It will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
So hopefully we'll be able to get these tires to around lap 16 or 17. But with the cars in front of us starting on mediums, I'm not too confident that we'll be able to make moves at the start. But, you know, you never know. Here at Albert Park is Lando Norris, reigning world champion, lines his McLaren up on pole position next to Charles Leclerc. You can see our teammate Nico Hülkenberg rounding off the grid there. And now for the first time in Formula One in 2026, it's lights out. And away we go there. Try not to get any wheel spin. That was a decent start by my standards. As now we're just going to be very, very careful not to damage our front wing into turn 1 there. As with the revs low and tires cold and cold brakes, there's just absolutely no grip out there at the moment. And we are on the hard compound tire as well, so that's not doing us any favors compared to these guys all around us on mediums. But it seems to be a decent getaway. We're up to P15. And considering how my starts were previously, was not the greatest showing ever of my start skills. I'm better on controller, honestly, in terms of starting a Grand Prix. And then we go past Fernando Alonso for P14.
Okay. Now stay alert for threats around you.
Big old lift into turn 9 there behind Carlos Sainz. We're just going to try to use the battery wherever the AI use it. Here goes Sainz on Colapinto, the Spaniard, versus the Argentinian. As Colapinto is going to try to get the move back on Sainz. This is for P12 at the moment. As they're going to go side by side through the fast right-hander at the end of the lap. We're going to try to sense an opportunity, but nothing in it at the moment. Colapinto also on the hard tires, so he'll be falling back early on here as we just give a little brush up against the wall there. As I said, feels like there's no grip for whatever reason. And now big lift into turn 1. That's going to be something I'm going to have to get used to as we go just a little bit deep. Got to focus on going into the corner slow and out of it fastest to the outside goes Fernando Alonso. We're going to brake just that little bit later though than the Aston Martin and kind of slam the doors. We catch a slide there. Just absolutely no grip. I feel like we're holding everybody up behind us as we cannot
overtake active.
We cannot lose the overtake mode.
Use boost on the next long straight to get past.
We cannot lose overtake mode on Colapinto ahead because that is just a death sentence in 2026 Formula One. Well, we're going to get a decent run on Franco Colapinto there onto the back straight. We're going to go side by side as we're just going to squeeze him out of road there. And they use the boost mode all the way up towards turn 9. Sainz is harvesting. Can we get to his outside? Is he going to squeeze us? He's going to squeeze us. But we are going to make the move through on him as now it's going to compromise our exit.
Okay, so managing the engine's more important than ever. Your main way to recharge will be lifting and coasting, and you don't always need to go full throttle. Try some lift and coast before braking, then use boost on corner exit to get that extra energy deployment.
So Mark, you're explaining the basics of F1 2026 to us there, and it just seems like Hamilton is holding everybody up here. Not sure where his lack of pace has come from, but you can see he's kind of fallen away to the rest of the pack ahead of him. But now, points are only 2 cars up the road at the moment, as we're going to see if we can get a run on Esteban Ocon here. No, we are not. We're not going to have any battery left in the tank at the moment. We're going to try to keep signs behind us as best we can. We do a big lift into turn 9, recharge the battery as Ocon gets by Gasly for that final points position. We're hopefully going to try to get past both of them, as Gasly and Ocon are going to go side by side. We're going to go side by side, 3 wide down into this corner. Very acute angle into the corner. Gasly is going to hang it up around the outside. We're going to have the inside line, and he just concedes the position to us there. But he's going to try to get the switch back as we go a little bit wide. This is some great racing here in F126. I don't think in the 25 cars the AI would ever make that kind of move. So clearly this generation of car and formula giving us some great racing, as now Gasly is going to head into turn 1 ahead of us still in P10. Well, Pierre Gasly has fallen out of the boost mode now on Lewis Hamilton, or the overtake mode I should say. So this might be an opportunity for us to get up into a points paying position. The difficult part would be pulling away from him, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. First we got to pass him, as it seems like the AI are doing big lifts and coasts into this corner to recharge the battery there, as now we're going to try our best to get a run on the Alpine here. Gasly, which way is he going to defend, to the inside or the outside? He's going to take the inside line, so we're going to swoop all the way around the outside. And the Alpine just given
keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.6 seconds.
up that position to us, as we get an awful run off of that corner, just understeering, and now Gas is going to go back to the outside and retake the position from us. So these are the kinds of high speed or high pressure and fast paced decisions you have to make in F1 in 2026, as we just get onto the grass there. Little mistakes like that are what's going to cost us points in this Grand Prix. Well, here we go then on Pierre Gasly, the rear light flashing on his car to show he's harvesting some battery. The super clipping kicks in. We're going to go around the outside of the Alpine, and now we secure 10th position in this race as we go purple through the middle sector, actually. So now next up is Lewis Hamilton, who I don't think will have pace to keep up with, but maybe. I mean, he certainly is struggling, as is Isaac Hadjar. Both the Ferrari and the Red Bull, excuse me, struggling for pace early on this afternoon, as now this seems to be the corner where I'm losing the most pace. Just getting the run out of there is getting progressively more and more difficult, as the tires now above 20% on the left-hand side, as now we are back within a second of Lewis Hamilton. Seems to be caught behind this fight between Hadjar and the Mercedes of, it looks like Kimi Antonelli, I assume, as Lando Norris still leads the Grand Prix from Charles Leclerc. And now we're going to get a decent run on Lewis Hamilton and try to gain some time. I think Lewis is happy to just sit back right now and let these guys duke it out ahead and destroy their tires, and then he can pounce when he feels like it. I don't know if he's conserving pace or if he's genuinely just slow here this afternoon. We head through the final corner. I'm going to try to get the best run I can, but it just seems like there's no grip on the exit, no confidence in this Audi car yet.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
But if we can score points on our Audi debut, that would be quite an achievement. So now we close in on Hamilton. No, actually it's Russell holding everybody up here. So he must not have gotten the greatest of starts. At the time of recording this, yesterday, Lewis Hamilton won his first Grand Prix with Ferrari at Barcelona. Very special to watch that happen for him. But right now, in the game world, he is P9, and now he's P10 as we go for the move. Or is he P10? No, he's going to have the inside line. So he's not going to be overtaken this lap, it doesn't look like, as I don't want to get squeezed there. The AI don't like to give that much room. As now, can we get the run on the 7-time world champion? As now we head down to the inside of the Ferrari, and we're going to go up the inside of Alex Albon. Please see me. He did see me. Luckily he didn't turn in on me there. There was almost contact, but
Okay, good work. Great pass.
everything is nice and tidy so far. As Alex Albon is going to dive into the pits, so now this is when we see the medium tires start to fall off in this race. Not sure if some drivers will be going for a two-stop here this afternoon.
Great stuff. You hit that target. Really good job.
As we understeer past the apex into turn 1, and now that could have Lewis Hamilton get a run on us. We're running out of battery here. I'm trying to conserve it. As into the braking zone we go deep once again. I'm losing a lot of grip on these tires. Not really feeling it through the medium speed corners, but I certainly am feeling it in the traction zones, which luckily there are not that many of around this track. As now I can really feel the understeer kicking in. As you can see, Oscar Piastri, who started third on the grid, falling down. So lack of pace for the McLaren today. The second McLaren driver. According to McLaren, there are no second drivers. We all have our opinions about that. As there goes the lifting coast from Russell. We're going to try to get up the inside. He's not going to give us the space, which is completely understandable. It was a late send. However, now he's going to have to give us the space up the inside as we open the front and rear wing. There's Piastri. Can we get to the inside of Piastri? We're going to make it 3 wide through there. How is there not any contact? Russell somehow stays ahead. And now he is all over the tail of Hadjar. And Piastri's all over the tail of us. This is some fantastic racing. Now, as we head down, we're going to try to go around the outside of George Russell. Can we make it stick? Get up onto the curb, get on the throttle earlier, and dump the battery as we head down through this corner. We're going to understeer off the track, though. Oh, it was too good to be true, really, racing a Mercedes. Ooh, we're racing a Mercedes and a McLaren, as now our tires are absolutely filthy, and you can really feel the loss of grip.
Careful. We think you're going to start losing some tire grip anytime now.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up, Mark. Well, there we go. Oscar Piastri and George Russell into the pit. Seems like all of the medium compound runners are starting to come in now.
We're approaching the pit window, and you're going to be on mediums.
And we, as Mark says, are approaching our pit window. We'll be in 2 laps, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. But the left-handers, or the left-hand side of the car is just absolutely taking a beating here. So you really feel it through the right-handers, specifically of turn 6. Quick, normally flat out right-hander, but in race conditions on worn tires, you just got to lift ever so slightly to get through that corner. So now we try not to run wide through here. So we find ourselves in P6 at the moment. Hamilton 1.9 behind us. So maybe, just maybe, we could pull off a strategy masterclass here and be quick at the end on the mediums and do some overtaking.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
And the team want us in this lap as we find ourselves P4 right now. So the only people who have not pitted yet are Charles Leclerc and both the Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar. But now I think everybody is going to be in this lap. My hard compounds are actually gone as the tire wear warning pops up. No, Hadjar is going to stay out an extra lap just to let Verstappen box there. And now we make sure we don't get done for speeding. Coming into the pit lane, we need a nice and tidy stop. First one of the season. 2.4. Beautiful.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Look
Beautiful
after these
stop.
tires now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
And now we're going to head out of the pit lane in P14 behind Pierre Gasly. And now cold tires, try to get them nice and warmed up. We've got a nice gap behind, so we don't have to drive in our mirrors at all. We can just look and focus fully on pushing ahead as these tires have so much grip now. Expect we'll go to the end of the Grand Prix for the last 12 laps on this tire. Or else I'll go into a soft if there's a safety car or something like that. But for now, I'm just going to manage these to the end. Well, we are super close to Fernando Alonso coming off of turn 2. As now we're going to go for the outside line on the Spaniard. Switch to the inside late. Can we get up the inside? No, we can't. Nearly contact there. Tried to get back onto the racing line, but just went a little too far to the left. It almost went to the back of El Padre there. As this area here doesn't really seem to be the best for overtaking. However, this back straight on the exit seems to be one of the best places to pass on this track, even better down in turn 1, as now we go up the inside of Pierre Gasly as well. This is for P9, but Gasly's just going to out drag us. He uses a little bit extra battery, and now here we come in the slipstream of Pierre Gasly. Fernando's going to go to the outside.
Boost mode if you need it. Boost mode if you need it.
And now we're going to take a very, very acute line into that corner. Gasly's going to switch us off the exit, but we do stay ahead of Fernando Alonso. The fact that Alonso's fighting for points right now, and that Aston Martin. Whoa, as the speed difference there on Pierre Gasly through that corner was absolutely insane. We're going to try to clear the Alpine down this back straight here. He has no boost mode, and I wasn't used to that. Yeah, the next car is Alexander Albon.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
About 3 seconds up the road, so we're going to try to clear Gasly now. Well, I was going to do it out of turn 10, but we might just do it into turn 9. Nope, not close enough. But we almost did it through turn 9. This is just crazy, the speed difference. But Gasly's going to use a little bit of his boost mode. So now we head down the inside. Look how much later we were able to brake there. He's going to kind of turn in on us there. I'm not sure if I had any part to play in that or if he just didn't see me or something. But yeah, that is P9. But here comes Isaac Hadjar on us around the outside. I'm not going to fight it too hard. He's in a Red Bull. I'm in a Audi.
Okay, mate. Hadjar ahead. They're holding us up now, so let's please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push.
Okay. Team think we can have a run on the Red Bull, so I guess whatever the team want, we're going to go for it. But I'm not really going to try to kill my tires too bad. It's not really of much importance to me whether we make the move or not, as Isaac and I are both going to harvest our batteries all the way into turn 9, as you can see. Let's see if we can get a run on him with the overtake mode. Or we don't have overtake mode, actually. So if you get it on the end of the last lap, you get it for the entirety of the next lap. I see. I thought it was like a DRS thing, where if you were within a second, you had it. But I'm just noticing. Yeah, so here's the detection point. Right there. And then, yep, boost mode activated. And then I'll get it for the entirety of the next lap. Alright, I understand now. As we are in P8, Sainz comes into the pits as well. So they both started on the hard tires going long. So maybe that will pay dividends in the end of the Grand Prix here. Maybe Williams are in for a point or two. As we're just absolutely being hounded by Lewis Hamilton. Never somebody you want to see in your rear view mirror. You just know he's going to go for a move or something. He's not a 7-time champ for no reason. As we are just absolutely draining the battery this lap. Try to stay with Isaac Hadjar, and we certainly have. As with the overtake mode and the straight line mode, we're going to try to see if we can get a run on the Frenchman, as Lewis is trying to go to our inside, but there's not really an avenue for him. As we're going to harvest the battery through that corner. So just staying with Hadjar here is absolutely crucial. I don't really care if Hamilton passes us or not. So staying with both of them is Lewis Hamilton. Big lock up there. That'll have damaged his front right certainly a lot. But I'm just going to try to stay with these two now. So I do not find myself coming from under pressure behind, because I know we don't have the greatest of pace this afternoon. Oh, Arvid Lindblad breaking down. Arvid Lindblad out of the session. Is not going to be a safety car. It looks like he's parked right down at the penultimate corner. That looks very dangerous. I was hoping for a safety car, but I guess there won't be one. We've now fallen out of overtake mode range on Isaac Hadjar ahead of us. See if we can get it back through this third sector at all. But yeah, I don't want to speak too soon, but it looks like we might be on for 2 points on our Audi debut, which would just be absolutely phenomenal, as we're not going to have the overtake mode this time around. So we're just going to try to stay with them as best we can. If not, we have a 10-second gap. I do not think Lawson can make that up unless I make a mistake or something toward the end of this Grand Prix. Humongous slide there coming out of turn 10, and that has cost us a couple seconds here, but still got 9 seconds to Carlos Sainz behind us. I almost said Liam Lawson, but Sainz is now in P10. So as I said, he does have fresher tires than us, so we might just see him make a push towards us at the end, because our mediums are starting to get quite worn, especially on the left-hand side, which is how it was with the hards, just the nature of this track. The front left takes the most punishment. That big moment we had coming out of turn 10. The gap is now 7.9 behind to Carlos Sainz on the fresher hard tires. So now he's going to be making a push towards us to try to get another point, because each one is going to count for these bottom teams in 2026, and as our tires are starting to get quite worn, 40% on the front left, so certainly taking a beating. Well, we got yellow flags out on the main straight. Who's that? Is that a Ferrari? It's Charles Leclerc! Charles Leclerc, running in the podium positions, is out of the Grand Prix, so clearly Ferrari here having some struggles. So we have Lewis Hamilton struggling for pace in general, and Leclerc not struggling for pace, running in the podium positions, as I say, but his car just broke down. So, woes for Ferrari, but that is another place up for us. So now, going on to the penultimate lap, we're P8. Well, now as we come onto the start-finish straight for the final time,
Started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Carlos Sainz has caught us, and he has been making a valiant effort on those hard tires to push us all the way for this 8th place. As now there goes Sainz to the outside with the overtake mode. Are we going to be able to get back past him? No, we're not. Sainz, I didn't think he'd be able to catch us. I was a little bit too overconfident in that. But now I'm going to put the car into hot lap mode and just dump the battery down this back straight and see if we can catch him while he is harvesting or something like that, and then try to hold the position down into the right-hander after the chicane. As there we go, up the outside of Carlos Sainz. So we're going to try to both dump our battery all the way down the straight. He's going to start to harvest, as are we. But we harvest just a little bit less to stay ahead of the Spaniard there. But Lando Norris rounds the final corner, across the line to win the Australian Grand Prix season opener. 2nd year in a row he has won here in Australia for the first race of the season. We're going to have a Mercedes on the podium. Not sure if it's Antonelli or if it's Russell, but just at the final corner, a big spin there. And we almost held P8. Unfortunately, we gave it our best, but just didn't have the grip to hold on to it. But we're going to come home still P9 on debut. What a good result.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
What a way to head to victory. Lando Norris takes the win.
And to get a victory at the first race of the season, this might be a sign of things to come. One thing's for sure is that this performance will be giving the team and the driver relief and confidence going into the rest of the season.
All that hard work, all that graft on track, now being rewarded as they make their way onto the podium. And Lando Norris celebrates the win in style. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there you go then. Lando Norris wins the season opening Grand Prix here from George Russell. 15-second lead. Nobody was stopping him from that today. Max Verstappen comes home in third. And then Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Isaac Hadjar, and then Carlos Sainz from 13th on the grid up ahead of us. We almost had that P8, but I just made that mistake. Coming out of the third to last corner, the fast right-hander. So, unfortunately, it's only going to be P9 for us, but still more than I ever hoped for this Grand Prix. Alex Albon making it a double Williams points finish. And then comes Pierre Gasly, who thought he had a shot in for a point or two today. Turns out he did not quite have the pace. Liam Lawson, Nico Hulkenberg from last coming up to 13th. So maybe our pace is representative because Hulkenberg had a very poor qualifying. Then comes Fernando Alonso doing wonders in that Aston Martin, followed by Franco Colapinto, Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, Sergio Perez, Oliver Behrman, Lance Stroll, and then, of course, Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap. And Arvid Lindblad not finishing, Leclerc still being classified. So let's have a look at the standings here. Lando Norris, of course, leading the title fight at the moment. So you can see here it's going to be the same exact way the race finished, but I want to have a look at the constructor standings. So McLaren lead by 3 points from Mercedes AMG. Then comes Red Bull, Ferrari all the way down in fourth due to one of their cars DNFing. Williams in fifth in the constructor standings, and we are in sixth. Cadillac down in last. Everybody here just fighting for the scraps. The bottom 5 teams. But yeah, that is all for this episode. Make sure to tune in next time out for the Chinese Grand Prix, which is our first sprint race. But I'll see you guys then. This has been quite an experience. I do think we have quite a lot of pace to unlock in that Audi car.